Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I want to go over Toyota's multimedia system for the 2025 year models. Now, we recently were able to take a look at the all-new 2026 Toyota RAV4, where Toyota has made some significant changes to that multimedia system. We will be seeing that roll out in future models after the RAV4. So for today, if you do have a 2025 or older or this latest infotainment system, let me walk you through all of the features and functions that you can go through. Now, we are in my 2025 Toyota Tacoma. I have a lot of content on this truck that you can take a look at if you're interested in this truck. Now, I currently do not have it turned on. I just have the electronics on to go through all of this information. So here's the full digital gauge cluster, where you'll notice that you have tach on the left side, miles per hour on the right, and then there's also some configurable information that you can go through using these controls on the left side. So if you just hold on OK for a few seconds, you'll wait for the screen to pop up where now you can scroll up and down. For the middle screen, you can do it on the left side, and you can also do it on the right side. But we'll start off with the settings here, where there's a lot of tech features. And this will be similar. Some of these may vary depending on the model that you go with. You know, older RAV4, Camry, Tundra. It's all going to be fairly similar, however. Now, in this truck with the meter settings, you can actually go into the meter type and the meter style. So I can actually change how I want to see the gauge cluster and just a little bit different of a graphic. So I currently have it in sporty. I think that is the neatest design for the truck here. And then you can also go into a meter type. So you can control how you want to view this information, left or right, and then the tach in the middle there can be a little bit smaller too. I have it on the dual system here, so that way it looks more like a configurable or an analog gauge cluster. So that is my preference there. But it's nice that you have a lot of other options here that you can go to. You have default settings, so it just restores it back to normal. Pop-up displays, you have your trip information, and a few other settings there that you can get into. And then you can also go to the left or the right. So on this right side here, we'll slowly go through all this information. Again, some of it might be different. You may not have pitch and roll in a Camry, but you will have some information designed for the specific vehicle. So you can easily get through all of that. You can even have it on blank too, if you don't want to see any information. And then the same goes for this left side. Now you will notice some of the information is going to be the same, some of it will vary, but most of this is going to be identical to that right side. And then you'll also notice there's an arrow over on that far right side. So if I get back into this right and then hit on the right arrow again, I can actually go through what information I would like to have shown to scroll through. So I'm missing turbo gauge, which we saw over on this side here, because it's simply not highlighted on this right side. So that's really neat if you further want to configure or hide information so you can only go through, let's say you have drive information and fuel economy. Every time I refuel this vehicle, I like to go in and reset the fuel economy along with my drive information, so trip A and trip B. So I could deselect the rest of these and quickly get into that screen, scroll through those two, and call it a day. So that is neat to see. And then same thing goes for this left side. You'll notice some of these aren't checked that were checked on that right side. So just another way to further configure this information. And then you can easily go through all three of them once it times out. Now we can go through 1, 2, and 3, depending on that information and what you would like to see. Now, another thing that you can do with the screen is adjust the brightness. This might be in a different spot depending on your vehicle, but on the Tacoma here, it's over on this left side. So if I just push on that button, we have the brightness that we can adjust just by pushing on it. And then for that screen, that is it. So we do have voice commands as well, but that is with the infotainment system, and then there's no other controls on the left side for that gauge cluster. So that is pretty easy to go through. Now, as we work our way to the infotainment system, for at least the 25 Toyota Tacoma, there were two different options. You could go with the 7-inch screen or this larger 14-inch screen. They're going to be fairly similar, aside from the size, of course. You have about the same amount of information to go through between both of them. And we'll start at the bottom, where you can go into apps. You have a notification center, a remote connect, so you can go through and reinstall apps just depending on what you do. I don't really mess with that. I don't really have any apps to go through. You have software updates, info, and security. So you can get into some of this information and set that up. And then you have dealer information, vehicle customization. So you can get into your lights, adjust all of that. You do have your door controls, so that way it will lock and unlock depending on how you have it set up. You can unlock all the doors at the same time. You have auto lock features, things that you can go into. You can also set up your climate, and then you have some utilities here that you can customize. And then you have your voice search, navigation, sound and music. You can get into your displays here. All of this is just depending on how you'd like to view this information. You also have your date and time keyboard, so just general information along with personal information that you can get into. Now there's also the car icon there, so you have trip information. You also have vehicle alerts as well. And then there's also your phone when that's paired. You have your music, and then you can get into the navigation with the actual vehicle itself. Or when you have your phone paired, you can go to the upper left, and now you can pull up your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto in full screen. So this is pretty easy to go through, where you have shortcuts on this left side. I have phone, music, and my map there. And then you can see we have a split view and then all of your icons that you are going to have. Now you can also quickly get back into the Toyota setup just by pushing on the Toyota icon, and then everything else is just going to depend on the apps that are on your personal phone. So that is pretty much it for the infotainment system. Fairly easy to use. With this as well, we do have the voice commands. So I was in the 26 RAV4. Let's see if we can do the same thing here. Hey Toyota, turn down the temperature.
Setting the driver's temperature to 68 degrees.
So that's pretty cool. I had it on 72 if you just saw that, and it went down to 68. So it doesn't necessarily do it one at a time. Let's see if I can get it back up. Hey Toyota, turn up the temperature.
Setting the driver's temperature to 72 degrees.
So interesting that it picks that number to go to and not just one at a time. But it's a little bit more intuitive in the 26-year multimedia system. Now for the rest of this screen, really the only other control you need to worry about, if you do have the 360 camera system, you do have a view button, so you can easily pull that up, change a few of your angles here, play and pause it as needed. And then if I put it into reverse, we have a lot of camera angles, and this is what I really like about having the larger screen. With the smaller screen, you don't get the 360 camera option, so you would just have the backup camera. So for this here, you have quite a lot. I can easily monitor my bed too, and I have a split view for off-roading with those different angles, and you can go through your 360 view as well. So really great camera system to have. It gives you so much. You can even go to auto, so at slower speeds, the forward-facing camera will automatically pop up just to give you a little bit better forward visibility. And then underneath that, let's just go through these real quick, where we have all the climates laid out well, all of the toggles for your fan speed, temperature. Heated and ventilated seats are in this truck. It was an option. You have your temperatures, heated steering wheel too. And then some other controls like the crawl control, which is of course optional, not going to be in every vehicle, along with towing and things like that. So a really nice system to use for this truck. I don't have any complaints with it. It's super simple and easy to go through. Take a look at the video that we did with the 2026 multimedia system in the Toyota RAV4. So that way you can get a good look at what's going to come for future Toyota models. It's getting introduced in the RAV4, of course. So again, if you have an older model, not too old, of course, maybe a few years old, this system is great, super easy to go through, not a whole lot to configure, but it's nice that you do have certain aspects that you can configure just depending on the general information that you would like to see. So I hope you all enjoyed today's video going through this information for the Toyota multimedia system. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads, along with the rest of the build for this Tacoma if you are interested in this truck from Toyota. And we have several reviews that you can stay tuned for. I will see you all in the next video.